Chapter 86, the header. Great inventions and technological advancements are established by Satan to control the world and institute his plan in its fullness. Most of the advancements come from the desires of the United States. The world lies under great sin because of these advancements. 1. And now there shall be much confusion in the latter days because of these blessings which Satan shall give unto those who follow his plan. Or rather, there shall be much confusion because of the power of nature that Satan shall use to institute the giving of his blessings to those who follow him. 2. Behold, it is the design of the plan of Lucifer to make the days of our probation easy and labor free, so that we might partake of his blessings without toil or labor, enjoying the fruits that he provideth for us by following his plan. 3. Now, in this thing Satan hath used some principles of the plan of the Father in his own plan. For the Father hath also promised that in his kingdoms there shall be no more toil or labor, and that all shall enjoy the eternal blessings of peace and happiness forever. 4. Nevertheless, it shall be shown unto you that the plan of Lucifer shall fail miserably in his promises of providing eternal peace and happiness as we have been promised by the Father. 5. And in the latter days, Satan shall be given power over his own dominions at the beginning of the half of times. Nevertheless, the Lord shall keep him bound for a short time at the beginning, so that he can allow Joseph, the first of these last latter-day prophets, to set up a church according to the desires of Joseph. And this the Lord shall suffer, so that his word shall be fulfilled regarding the Gentiles. 6. For the Gentiles shall have the same opportunity to live by the gospel of Jesus Christ, as did the Jews, and those other Gentiles who were taught the gospel by the 12 apostles who were with Christ during the days of his ministry. 7. And the Gentiles of the last days shall reject the fullness of his gospel, just as the Jews did, who were the first, thus fulfilling the word of the Lord when he said that the first shall be last, and the last shall be first, both receiving an equal opportunity in all things. 8. And it shall come to pass that after this church shall be established by Joseph in the latter days, and after the Gentiles have rejected the fullness of this gospel, then shall Satan have complete power over his own dominions, according to the words given by the Lord to Joseph, in which he said. 9. And again, verily I say unto you, O inhabitants of the earth, I the Lord am willing to make these things known unto all flesh. For I am no respecter of persons, and will that all men shall know that the day speedily cometh. The hour is not yet, but is nigh at hand, when peace shall be taken from the earth, and the devil shall have power over his own dominion. 10. And also the Lord shall have power over his saints, and shall reign in their midst, and shall come down in judgment upon Idumea, or the world. 11. And now, my brothers and sisters of the latter days, I would that ye should find the date when this revelation and these words of the Lord are given unto Joseph. Yea, ye shall see that they shall be given unto him after he hath established the church of God for the last time upon the earth. 12. And ye shall see that Satan hath not yet at that time been released to have complete power over his own dominions according to the words of the Lord. 13. And if ye know this time, ye shall also realize that up until this time throughout the history of the children of men, very little progress was made in the advancements of science and technology, even in the understanding of the powers of nature and how to control these powers in mortality. 14. Nevertheless, after Satan shall be released from the restrictions that the Father hath placed upon him concerning these things, yea, even shortly after the fullness of the gospel shall be once again taken from off the face of the earth, after the death of Joseph, then shall great advancements in science and technology be made throughout the whole earth, but more especially among the people who live in the United States, which Satan hath chosen for himself to set up his final kingdom, and in which he shall establish his seat. 15. And then when he hath established his seat, And after the restrictions that were placed upon him by the Father have been lifted, then shall he begin to introduce these exceedingly miraculous advancements in science and technology that shall revolutionize the manner of living throughout the whole earth. Yea, but in the beginning, only among those of the earth who are rich. 16. For the purpose of introducing these miracles among the children of men is so that their lives might be more easily lived, and that they might pursue the selfish desires of their own happiness, without laboring so tediously by the sweat of their own brows, as they were commanded by the Lord in the beginning. 17. And ye shall know from this record that this has been the plan of Lucifer from the beginning, even the power and the blessings that he hath given unto the rich and powerful who have followed his plan, and have been given their rewards for following him. 18. And one of these blessings is the easiness and leisure of life which the rich enjoy in all things. Nevertheless, the manner of life of the rich, since the beginning until the time that Satan shall have the restrictions of the Father lifted from him, is not as easy and as leisurely as the life that they shall lead in the latter days, when Satan shall show forth his power by using the miracles of science and technology to reward those who follow him. 19. And since the beginning, there have been many men who have known of the laws of nature, and who have introduced some of their knowledge of these laws among the children of men. And Satan hath also inspired many men since the beginning with the same knowledge that the prophets of God received through the ministrations of the Holy Spirit. 20. Nevertheless, the prophets of God do not reveal any of these things to the world, for they are forbidden to by the Lord, as I have explained it unto you previously in this record. 21. But those who follow Satan know nothing of the things of God, and do not understand that which can take place upon the earth when these eternal laws of nature are misused in unrighteousness. 22. For this reason, even though there were many who understood the nature of these laws, none were given the ability to use this knowledge to control the power of these laws. And it is the power to use these eternal laws from which the Father had restricted Satan until the latter days. 23. For the Father knew that once a knowledge of this power was given to the world, then it would be used in unrighteousness by those who follow the plan of Lucifer, which plan offereth all of the powers of God to any who follow him. 24. And I have already explained unto you that when the wicked use these powers for their own purposes, which are the purposes that Satan would allow them according to his plan, then great misery and destruction shall come upon the earth. 25. And if these powers are left unchecked by righteousness, they would soon destroy the earth, which the Father hath created to bring happiness to his children, not the misery that they shall suffer by the misuse of these laws. 26. And it shall come to pass in the latter days, when the Father shall no longer hold him bound, that Satan shall have no further restrictions upon him, and he shall begin to use this power to reward them that follow him. 27. And in that day that he shall begin to rage in the hearts of the children of men, and have power over them, there shall be many who shall introduce into the world their inventions, and their ideas, and their contraptions, which shall use the laws of nature to do the bidding of Satan in all things. 28. For these things, which shall be introduced by the power of Satan, shall be used by those who have invented them, and introduced them into the world to get gain and to become rich. And much of the inspiration that they shall receive in inventing these things shall come from their desire to not work by the sweat of their own brow, and perform manual labor all the days of their lives. 29. And now the Father gave the commandment to Adam and Eve that they should work and eat by the sweat of their brow all the days of their lives for a righteous purpose. And this purpose was so that we might learn through experience how glorious and wonderful his kingdoms of glory shall be unto us when we inherit them, and do not have to work therein to sustain our lives. 30. And we saw these eternal worlds as spirit children of the Father, But as spirit children who did not have the knowledge of good and evil, or the knowledge that the Father possesseth, we could not understand how glorious these kingdoms are. 31. For this reason we are placed upon this earth to pass through the days of mortality, and experience labor and toil, and sweat and languor, so that we might appreciate and be happy with all that the Father hath provided for us in his kingdoms. 32. And now, this is where Lucifer disagreed with the Father in the beginning, and then presented his own plan, in which we would not have to suffer these things during mortality. And because of the plan that he presented to us, many of our brothers and sisters accepted it as a righteous plan, believing that it would ultimately bring eternal happiness to those who follow him, according to the promises that Lucifer made unto them. 33. And it is this plan that many have followed upon this earth during the days of their probation. And these are the rich and the powerful, who have set themselves up above all others, and who have enslaved others to labor by the sweat of their brows, so that these do not have to labor and become languorous. 34. Now, herein is the greatest problem with the plan of Lucifer, compared in point with the plan of the Father. Behold, in the plan of Lucifer, only a few can have the riches and the glory and the power, and they shall be given glory and power over others because of what they perceive as being their righteous desires, which are the righteous desires of Lucifer, and not the desires of the Father. 35. Behold, according to the plan of the Father, all are created equal, and none is set above another. And those who have the knowledge and power of the gods shall be servants to those who do not have this power. 36. And those who have this great eternal power have been given this power only that they might serve others, and provide them with the happiness that the Father hath promised to all of his children, who choose him as their God, and follow the plan that he hath outlined for them. 37. But according to the plan of Lucifer, this power is given to all without regard to their righteous natures, or the desires of their hearts, whether these desires only serve their own selfish interest or not. 38. And according to his plan, in order for us to have this great power, it becometh a necessity that there are others who are our servants, or who do not have this power and authority, but shall remain servants to the gods of Lucifer forever. 39. Now, this is the great difference between the plan of the Father and the plan of Lucifer. For the plan of the Father maketh servants of those who have the power of an eternal God, and the plan of Lucifer maketh servants for those who have this same power. 40. And it is also a part of the plan of Lucifer that there shall never be suffering, nor shall there be a commandment of labor like unto the commandment that was given to Adam and Eve in the beginning. 41. And it is because of the inexperience of Lucifer that caused him to rebel against the Father, and cause others to follow him in his rebellion of the plan of God. 42. And the Father knew that the only way that he could prove that his plan was the most righteous plan, yea, even the only plan that can be followed to find eternal happiness, is if he allowed Satan to be upon the earth and incorporate all aspects of his plan among the children of men. 43. And it shall come to pass that ye of the latter days shall see the fruits of the plan of Lucifer. Yea, ye shall see the nations of the earth lust after the blessings of Satan that come from following his plan. 44. And ye shall think that ye are happy following this plan, but in this ye are deceived. For ye know that ye are not happy. Yea, ye receive the temporary happiness of your fruit, but ye do not receive the eternal happiness that lasteth forever, which is the happiness that the Father hath promised unto you. 45. And it shall come to pass that the people of the United States shall raise up their standard of living above all other standards throughout the world, and they shall have an abundance of all the fine things of the world, and Satan shall begin to introduce his ideas into this great society, and he shall be their God. 46. and to mock the plan of the Father, yea, even to show forth his power among the people of the United States in the latter days, Satan shall cause that they shall inscribe upon their money the words, In God we trust. 47. And I have already explained this unto you, that they shall trust in their money above anything else upon the earth. 48. And because of the miracles of their technology and their sciences, many of the people of the United States shall not know what it is to sweat by their own brow to sustain their lives, but they shall spend all the days of their lives in pursuit of money and the fine things of the world and the honors and glories that they shall set upon themselves. 49. And they shall cause many wars and rumors of wars because of this standard of living that they shall establish for themselves. And their children shall abuse and dishonor their parents, and they shall desire only to have the money of their parents as their own, that they might have more of the fine things of the earth, without laboring with their own hands to obtain these things. 50. And in that day a man shall rise from his bed in the morning, and think of that which he must do, so that he can obtain more money, and increase the abundance of the things that he shall already have. And he shall do whatever he can in order to get this money, and increase his abundance, and give unto those of his family whom he loveth all the things that he believeth are the blessings from God. 51. And it shall come to pass that the parents shall give all these fine things unto their children while they are young, thus teaching their children that they do not need to work by the sweat of their own brows to obtain these things, but that these things are given to them freely. 52. And because they follow the plan of Lucifer, and give these things freely unto their children, without requiring a sacrifice on the part of their children in obtaining these things, their children shall become dissatisfied with that which they have, and shall not appreciate that which they have received of their father and their mother, believing that these things are freely given unto them without their own toil, and that these things should be expected all the days of their lives. 53. But if they would have required a sacrifice of their children, and had they not given these things freely unto them, then their children would appreciate that which they have worked for with their own hands. 54. And after they have experienced what is necessary to obtain these things, then when these things are given unto them by their parents, then shall they honor their parents, and know from their own experience the sacrifice that their parents have made for them in giving these things unto them freely. 55. Now, this is the exact reason why our Father requireth us to come down into mortality, and work by the sweat of our own brows, and experience life without the glorious blessings that he hath prepared for us in his kingdoms. 56. Now, all these things that shall come to pass in the latter days shall come to pass in the fulfillment of the words of John, which he wrote, saying, And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them who dwell upon the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. 57. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. 58. And now, this image of which John hath spoken is the standard of living that ye shall think in the latter days is the standard that should be set for all the people of the earth. And those who do not want to live by the standard that ye shall set, ye shall go forth in battle against them, and slay them, and cause them to bow down to your nation, which causeth that this standard be given unto all. 59. And the beast shall promise this standard unto all those who worship it. And it shall say unto all, Peace and liberty and justice for all. Yea, seek ye for the fine things of the world, and establish yourselves by my standards, and ye shall be happy as all those who follow me are happy. 60. And it shall come to pass that all the words of John shall be fulfilled in those days. Yea, even those words which condemneth the beast and the great nation of the United States upon which the beast sitteth in all of his glory. 61. For it shall come to pass that all the people of the world shall be under the great bondage of sin. And there shall be many nations upon the earth who are under the power and authority of the beast. And there shall arise many leaders who shall set themselves up above the people whom they shall lead, and to whom these leaders shall cause exceeding sorrow and misery, because they have set themselves up according to the will and the ways of Satan. 62. For these leaders shall seek for power and for riches, and by the flattery of their mouths shall they obtain all these things, by deceiving the poor into giving these things unto them, without the sweat caused by the labors of their own hands. 63. And there shall be some nations which shall rise up, which shall come up to battle against the seat of Satan, or the United States, because of the power of Satan that shall be upon this seat. But these nations shall be subdued and driven back before his seat, and Satan shall overcome the whole world for many years. 64. And when the United States shall subdue all other nations upon the earth, yea, when this nation becometh the greatest and most powerful nation upon the earth, then shall the power of Satan begin to be seen among all the nations of the earth. 65. For there shall be great wickedness and deception among the people of this nation, and they shall begin to spend all the hours of the day consumed by the desire for the fine things of the earth, and they shall not be able to sleep because of them. 66. And the laws of nature shall be in great turmoil because of their inventions and the miracles of their technology which Satan shall cause to come forth among them. 67. And the love of all men shall wax cold, and there shall not exist upon the earth a love for another, except it be for those who are members of their own families, or those who do those things which are acceptable in the sight of the beast. 68. And it shall come to pass that happiness shall be defined as the amount of success that one man hath over another in those things which he possesseth, and there shall be no lasting happiness upon the earth. 69. Nevertheless, Satan shall find ways to assuage the unhappiness of those who follow him, and he shall do this by misdirecting the cause of their misery. And because of his expertise in misdirecting the people according to his will, the people of the earth shall not know of themselves, neither shall they understand that they are equal, and that they are all the children of an eternal Father in heaven, who loveth them, and desireth that they find the happiness which they desire. 70. For every man shall have his hero in the flesh, and every woman her heroine in the flesh, that each looketh to as an example of what each desireth to become. 71. And there shall be few among them who looketh to Christ as their example, nor shall any of them give heed to the words of Christ, which would lead them to the eternal happiness that they all desire. 72. For in that day there shall be the rich and the famous, and those who are well known, because of the means of the technology that shall broadcast the image of the beast upon every housetop throughout the land. And these shall present an image of their persona that others shall see, and after which others shall pattern their lives. 73. And the whole earth shall begin to worship the image of the beast in such a way that they shall forget about the Father, and know not from whence they came, and by whose hand they came into being. 74. For there shall be many in the latter days who shall believe that they are learned as to the things of the world, and they shall be known as great scientists, and researchers, doctors, and philosophers, and athletes, and actors, and all these, yea, even every one shall be under the power and control of Satan, and shall do his bidding in all things. 75. And these shall turn the hearts of the children of men away from the plan of the Father, and create their own plans for the people of the earth according to the plan of Lucifer, which they shall follow, and by which they shall be rewarded with great success. 76. And the children of men shall begin to desire to become like unto these rich and successful, and shall pattern their lives after them, that they might have the happiness that they believe these enjoy. 77. And the people shall begin to fear one another, and they shall fear death also, for they shall not believe that there existeth life after the life that they shall live in mortality. 78. Yea, there shall be many who shall claim that they believe in God, and that they believe that there is life after death, but they say these things because of what they have heard in the world, and not from the testimony of the Spirit, who would teach them the truth of God in all things, if it so be that they would listen to his promptings. 79. Behold, in the last days there shall be all manners of ways in which death shall be postponed, and fought against by the miracles that Satan shall introduce among you. 80. And now, if ye believe that ye have a loving heavenly Father, do ye not also believe that he knoweth the time in which ye have been appointed to die? And if the time which hath been appointed by him arriveth, and a man is called home by the Father, then why do ye think that it is a good thing that ye save the life of this man, and fight against the will of God? 81. And I have touched upon this thing in this record. Yet in the latter days, your lack of faith in the Father concerning death shall be the means of much misery and unhappiness among you. 82. Behold, ye have the words of Christ in the Bible. Therefore, have ye read the words of Christ pertaining unto those who are dead? Is it not written, saying, And another of his disciples said unto him, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. But Jesus said unto him, Follow me, and let the dead bury their dead. 83. Behold, ye of the latter days shall trust more in your doctors, and the medicines that ye shall create by the means of the miracles that Satan shall give unto you, than ye do in the Lord, who is the giver of life, and the one appointed over death. 84. Yea, ye do not have the faith in the Lord, for if ye had faith in him, then ye would not suffer when one of your loved ones dieth, and entereth again into the spirit world, and is received therein in the love of the Father. 85. But ye do suffer because of death, and the cause of your suffering is your lack of faith, for ye do not want to know the Father and his plan of salvation for you. 86. For if ye knew of his plan, then ye would know of your great wickedness, and it would give you a cause to change the course of your lives, which course ye have chosen for yourselves as the only means of your happiness. 87. And those whose lives you save, having fought the will of the Father, shall remain among you, and shall be a burden unto you. And ye shall also suffer many of them to suffer exceedingly, because of the choices that ye have made for them, by fighting against the will of God, by keeping them in mortality, when they could be enjoying peace and happiness in the spirit world. 88. Behold, I give it as my opinion that it is good that ye save your lives with your doctors, and your medicines, and the miracles that Satan hath provided for you. And because your lives are saved, ye have more time to repent of your wickedness, and prepare yourselves better for a state of death, and hell which shall accompany the wicked after death in the spirit world. 89. For ye shall give thanks to the doctors, and the medicines which have saved you. Yea, there are many of you who might say that it was God who saved your life, by the means of the doctors and medicines that ye have among you. 90. But I say unto you, truly it was your God who hath saved you, but it was not the eternal Father who hath promised you eternal life and happiness, but it was the God of the world, who giveth unto you his own blessings according to your desires to serve him and keep his commandments. 91. And as ye save your lives, ye shall lose them to him who desireth to hold you captive in his chains, and bind you tight to still until you are defenseless before him, as he leadeth you down to destruction. End of chapter 86.